suggest that you just start off with the basics. Just start doing it, and you'll get the hang of it. You don't have to be perfect. Don't worry about if you go over your carbs in the beginning. You'll get used to it after a while.
Hello, my name is Olivia, and today we are going to be talking about how to start the keto diet. Is a low-carb, high-fat diet that puts your body into a metabolic state of ketosis. Ketosis is when you are burning ketones for fuel instead of glucose for fuel. So carbs are converted into glucose. Fat is the thing that gets converted over to ketones. So that is why you have to eat high fat, because that's where you're getting most of your calories from. If you were to keep eating low fat, low carbs, you would just be eating a very small amount of calories. I've written down a couple of notes about things that I usually suggest people do when they're first starting keto to help them get started. And so I'm just going to go through it. The first thing is limiting your carbs. This is the number one thing you absolutely have to do in order to get into ketosis. So ketosis is when your body's going to be burning the fat instead of glucose. So when you're limiting your carbs, your body is going to burn off all of the extra carbs that is stored in your liver. That's known as glycogen. And when you don't have any more carbs left in storage, you start to burn off your fat. That is called ketosis. So you need to look at all of your nutrition labels of all the food. If it doesn't have a nutrition label, look it up on Google, look it up on your phone. I use my MyFitnessPal to track all of my food. Get familiar with the foods that you will be eating, the foods that are low carb, the foods that are safe, the foods that are always going to be low carb. Really the only thing you have to worry about is packaged products like chips, cakes, snack cakes, popcorn, stuff like that. That is always going to be high carbs. So the things that are high carbs are grains, beans and legumes, obviously things with sugar in them, fruits, and high starchy vegetables. So those are the things that you need to stay away from. So that pretty much takes out all baked goods. Now you can make recipes with low carb ingredients and make baked goods that are keto friendly and low carb and that are delicious, but that is for another video. So look at all your labels and start limiting your carbs as much as you can. For ketosis, it's usually recommended to stay around 20 grams of carbs. So some people count 20 grams of net carbs, which is the fiber subtracted from the total carbs. But if you're just starting out, I recommend you just count total carbs because it's way easier until you get the hang of it. Okay, so the next thing you should do is track your food, which is very, very beneficial to understanding not only what you're eating, but understanding macros, understanding nutrition of food, understanding what all is in food. So you can kind of see how much fat, protein, and carbs are in food. You can get a sense of what foods you can eat all the time and what foods you're gonna have to limit on the keto diet. I use MyFitnessPal. Some other people use Fat Secret is another one. I think Chronometer is a really good one. It'll tell you like all your vitamins and nutrients in all of your foods. Those are really easy to use. It's just an app on your phone. You just search for a food, you click it, you add how much you ate, and you add it to your diary, and you can see all of the food you ate throughout the day. So that will help you total up your score of the carbs and fat and protein and calories that you eat in a day, and you can get a look of it, a cumulative look. And that will really help you track, as soon as you put in a food, if it's higher carb, you might not want to eat that food. You can also look foods up ahead of time. You can look foods up from a restaurant. It also has like nutrition from restaurants on there, so you can look that up too if you're gonna go out to eat or something like that. And yeah, I really suggest that you track your food. It is really helpful, and especially if you're trying to lose weight, you kind of need to be tracking your calories. If you aren't tracking your food, you don't really know how many calories you're eating, how many carbs you're eating, so you might never get into ketosis, really. So tracking your food in the beginning especially is important. So the third thing is calories. So I know a lot of people say that calories don't matter on the keto diet, but that is completely false. If you are trying to lose weight, you need to count your calories. You need to limit your calories in order to lose weight. Now, you don't want to limit them too much because your body might go into panic mode. Nico! So you don't want to limit your calories too much because then your body would go into panic mode and try to hold on to all of the fat that it has because it thinks that it's not going to get any fat for a while. And when you eat too few of calories, your hormones won't have enough fat or calories to be regulated, and a bunch of things in your body will get messed up kind of. And you won't end up losing as much weight as you thought you were going to. So you really need to be counting calories. If you're trying to lose weight, calories is what determines your weight. So calories is just energy for your body. And you get energy by three things. You get energy by carbs, by protein, and by fat. You can also get energy by alcohol, but we're just kind of gonna leave that out for this video. If you eat more calories than your body needs, then you're going to gain weight. If you eat less calories, then you're gonna lose weight, potentially. There's a bunch of different factors that go into weight loss, as well as diet, exercise, sleep, and stress, and other factors too. But tracking your calories is the number one thing you can do to help make sure that you are burning excess fuel in the form of body fat. There's no way to know how many calories you're eating unless you're tracking calories. So I recommend you tracking calories. Be conscious of your food. So I know that it is really hard to understand and know all of the foods that you can eat on the keto diet. So I suggest that you look at a bunch of low-carb food lists online. Usually the things that are low in carbs are meats are low in carbs. They're pretty much zero carb unless they are cured with some sort of sugar or something like that. So meats, eggs, low-carb vegetables. The low-carb vegetables I like are zucchinis, mushrooms, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, and lettuce. So those are things that I eat all the time. I like vegetables because they help fill me up. And also if you're counting net carbs, you can subtract the fiber in vegetables. But those are the low-carb vegetables I like. You can also have any vegetable you like, but they are, like if you have carrots, you can have a smaller amount of carrots because, they might have more carbs in them and you're gonna have to count those carbs, and so you'll get to your 20 grams of carbs real quick. So that is why, carrots aren't on a low-carb food list, but you can still eat carrots. You can really eat anything you want as long as you track and as long as you don't overeat your carbs. If you're whole food, but if you're eating packaged foods like Quest bars and low-carb packaged goodies or treats or whatever, make sure you track them. Make sure you look at the ingredients or look at the nutrition label and see how many carbs they have. Another thing that I want to talk about is fat. So on the keto diet, it's a high-fat diet, low-carb, moderate protein. So basically you're going to be eating the amount of protein that your body needs. Whether you increase or decrease your calories, that protein is not really going to change unless you are increasing your physical activity and you need more protein to upkeep. So your protein is what your body needs, your carb is a limit, and your fat is basically just filling in for calories. So carbs at 20, protein is what your body needs. You can look that up online, use a macro calculator to see what your body needs protein-wise. Grams just fill in the calories. When you first start the keto diet, you may not want to eat as much fat as the diet requires, but you really have to, because if you aren't eating enough fat, you aren't getting enough calories. Fat basically just fills in the calories, and so you can't be afraid to eat it. If you eat fat, you're going to be fat, but fat is just calories. If you are not overeating on your calories, then you're good. It's a long time to gain weight. You're great to eat fat. Fat is good. Fat helps you regulate your hormones. Fat helps you stay full for a longer time. and it also gives you energy that you can use more efficiently to use throughout your day. My cat keeps meowing and it's driving me crazy. The last thing I want to talk about is electrolytes. You need extra electrolytes on the keto diet. The electrolytes that are most important for the keto diet are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So if you aren't getting enough of these, for one, you might get keto flu, which is, it's like a bunch of symptoms. I never got it, but a lot of people get it and it's horrible. And it's basically like the real flu, like you feel like crap. And the best way to combat this is to make sure you're getting enough electrolytes. Products, which I will link in the description below, that I like to use and that I know a lot of other people like to use, and they're kind of tasty as well. But those help you make sure that you are getting enough electrolytes because they are high in electrolytes. Now don't go buying Smart Water or Gatorade, sugar-free Gatorade or sugar-free Powerade or anything like that. Those are actually very low in electrolytes compared to what you need. So you need around, I'd say 2,000 milligrams of potassium at least, around 400 milligrams of magnesium, and around 5,000 milligrams of sodium. So I will put those all right here. Salt to every meal. Your option, just salt all your food. You can also eat foods that are high in magnesium and potassium, like certain nuts and vegetables and fruits. Also high in potassium. If you don't get electrolytes, you can have keto flu, or you can have other symptoms such as muscle cramping, which happened to me a lot in the beginning. When I was sleeping, I would get like muscle cramps in my calves and it was so bad, and I would be sore the next day. Some people can get heart palpitations, so it's really, really important to make sure you're getting electrolytes in order to feel your best, because if you don't feel your best, you might just end up wanting to quit. That is all I have. I'm sure there are other things that I can think of, but those are all the ones that I usually recommend for people just starting out. There's a bunch of resources online, free resources to learn about the keto diet. On my own site, I have my own food blog. It's a keto food blog. It's called zenberryketo.com, and that will be in the description below as well. You can check me out. I have a bunch of recipes, but I suggest that you just start off with the basics. Just start doing it and you'll get the hang of it. You don't have to be perfect. Don't worry about if you go over your carbs in the beginning. You'll get used to it after a while. But all of these tips, kind of help people when they're first starting out, and they helped me, and now that I'm used to being in keto, it's just like a normal thing to me, and you'll get used to that too. Track your food, start off tracking your food, start off tracking your calories just to see where you're at. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to follow anything strictly yet. Get used to the food that you're going to eat. If you want to meal prep, you can meal prep. Find some favorite foods and prep them ahead of time, or get them ready, or at least plan out what you're going to eat. Sticking to whole foods is your best bet. Calories are what determine weight. Macro percentages are what determine how you feel. The macro percentages of the high fat, moderate protein, low carb makes you feel so good. Don't expect to lose weight immediately. Don't expect to lose the same amount of weight each week or each month. Weight loss is not linear, and there are a bunch of different factors that go into weight loss. That is it for this video. If you guys have any more suggestions, feel free to comment below, and I will keep continuing to make these videos about information for the keto diet, because I've been doing keto for a while and I really love it. It is my lifestyle, and I will probably continue to eat like this for the rest of my life.